Welcome back, everyone. You may be in a position where you have a MacBook and it may be extremely slow, it may be slowing down, whatever. Now, I will tell you, if you're in a demographic where your MacBook is an extremely old MacBook, like it's a 2011 MacBook or something like that, and you haven't upgraded any of the internals, then most probably it's going to be slow no matter what you do with it. But if you have a newer MacBook, let's say you have one of the M1 MacBooks or 2015 MacBook or whatever, they should still be pretty good for the most part. Like nothing's really should be super crazy with them. But if your MacBook is super glitchy and stuff, the very first thing I would recommend doing, and I do this all the time with even my M1 MacBook, is to simply restart the MacBook. You will not believe how many times this little simple thing can actually end up fixing the issue for you. Now, first of all, as I mentioned before, this is by far the easiest thing you can do. I've seen time and time again people able to fix their MacBooks with so many different problems by restarting it. And like I mentioned, even with my M1 MacBook, it's supposed to be this great, perfect MacBook that everyone said, but there are still issues with this that I still have to restart. And that typically ends up fixing those issues for me. Now, if that doesn't end up fixing anything and, you still have a MacBook that's kind of glitchy here and there, you want to notice the specific programs that you're using on your MacBook on a daily basis. So first of all, on pretty much all MacBooks, if you go down and, the dock, you will see all the apps that you have open. Now, if you have a bunch of different apps in the background that are open at one time, this can actually slow down your MacBook a crazy amount. So if you literally just go down and just force quit or exit out of any apps that you don't use, that is essentially the most important thing you can do from everything that I've done on my MacBook besides restarting it. This is really one of the easiest things you can do. So in my opinion, just quitting out any of the apps is another massive thing you can do to kind of fix your MacBook slowing down. Now, secondary stuff, this is like some crazy stuff I would recommend doing. It's not really like super ethical. I mean, it's ethical, but it's like kind of hard to explain. Basically, it's force quitting out of any app or any process that's taking up a bunch of memory from your device. So what I do is I go into my search bar on my MacBook or iMac or whatever, I type in Activity Manager, and this is basically, like the task manager of Windows on your MacBook. It's a built-in app, everyone's probably already used it, and all I do is I just look through the percentages within memory and energy within those little tabs, and I literally just click out and force quit any app that's taking up a lot of energy that I'm not currently using. So if I'm using an app like, Audacity to edit my audio, for some reason, randomly, it'll just start taking up like 60% of my memory. And I can typically tell if, when that's happening, if my fans start ramping up and my computer starts acting slow. So all I do is I go ahead and force quit that app, and my computer is much faster and just much less hot and different things like that. The same thing could be said with Final Cut Pro and, Photoshop, any of those big apps that you're not using. I typically will go here and just literally exit out of all of them. Now, that's the first thing. That's like one of the most important things I would recommend doing. If you have an extremely slow MacBook and it's just giving you the spinning wheel and it's just so awkward, that's the best thing you can do, in my opinion, besides restarting it, is to actually go ahead and go into your activity manager and force quit any app that you're currently not using. Now, if that doesn't work, another thing you can do is pretty much update your MacBook. You want to go into your software settings within your macOS device and literally just go into System Update and update your MacBook to one of the more recent versions of software available. As I mentioned before, if you're on a very old version of software, this can actually help you or, make it or break it for you. I know a lot of people, like on my 2015 MacBook, I kept it on macOS Mojave because it was that great of a software and it wasn't that slow. However, there can be issues where some people may have a MacBook where it's already up to date and you may have to update to the next version that's available to actually go ahead and either fix the issues that your current MacBook has. If you haven't had a problem with software, then I'd recommend probably skipping it. But if you are on a super old version of software and it's giving you a lot of headache, I would probably recommend updating at that point. So that's pretty much how to fix these specific issues. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that helps me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it'd be so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.